To one and all. Yes, am I audible to you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon. Yeah, all of you put your phone in mute.
And sir,
Keep your phone in mute, all of you. Yeah, today we are going to learn about the seas and lakes. Previous class we have came to know that glaciers. How many types of glaciers are there? So how the glaciers are going to form in just a minute. Yeah, previous class we have came to know that glaciers. So what is glacier? How it is formed? So what type of glaciers which are mostly formed? They are the valley glaciers, relic glaciers, and Piedmont glaciers. There are several types of glaciers, and their glacier deposits, yes, and glacier effects. How it is going to affect or impact on the human life. So all these types we came to know that. And today we are going to learn about the seas. So as we know, it is one of the a low-lying area, mostly on the Earth surface or Earth crust. We can seas. It is one of the catchment area. As we are seeing, the streams. So when it's raining, generally the rainwater through the streams, through the rivers, finally it is going to be joined into the seas. So here there are several variations. So to the formation of sea or sea floor setting. So all these things we should learn in starter
హలో ప్రీతి
చెప్పు మమత.
సార్ రాలేరుగా?
సార్ వచ్చి మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళారు.
అవునా? ఫిజిక్స్ క్లాసులకు వెళ్ళి ఒకసారి ప్రీతి ఫిజిక్స్ క్లాస్ విని ఒకసారి వచ్చిండ సార్ చెప్పు.
చూసి చెప్తాను.
వినపస్తుంది అమ్మా?
సార్ సార్
Am I audible to you? Okay.
ఓకే సార్.
Right. Okay. So here, according to the ocean water, where it has been meets the land area. So based on the shorelines, we can classify these oceanic or seas adjacent areas. We can classify there are basically three types of shorelines. They are mostly the shorelines of emergence and shorelines of submergence and compound shorelines. A shoreline, mostly we can see the shore means which has been end of the sea, where the land area which has been where at the land area and oceanic area which is going to be coincide, or it is going to be along to their meet, we can call it as a shoreline. Mostly these similar we can call it as beaches. So these beach areas or shoreline areas mostly we can see. So the movement of oceanic water or sea water, which has been the terms of tidals. So mostly the tidals will comes from the oceanic water or sea water will be occupy the ground area or adjacent land area, and so that it has been occupy the continental area. Based on that criteria, these shorelines are classified into three types mostly. A shoreline may be uplifted or it may be subsided with the respect to the sea line. Mostly we can see in some cases uplift and subsidence may operate simultaneously in different parts of the sea region. As the continental area, it has been somewhat upliftment to the oceanic area. But as we know, oceanic area is always a raining area. So when it's raining, the rainwater it has been flowing on the earth's surface through the streams, through the rivers. Finally, it is going to be joining in the oceans or seas. So it means always the oceanic area should be a low-lying area or low-level area to the continental surface. So here, sometimes it has been subsidence. Even the subsidence means it has been goes to the downward, down direction. So these subsidence and the places where it has been very clear it takes place. Then coming to the shorelines of emergence. So these shorelines are formed when coasts
సార్
are
వాయిస్ క్లారిటీ
uplifted
లేదు సార్.
or the sea levels.
హలో.
Voice is not clear.
ఎస్ సార్.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm actually in the remote area. That's why I'm not getting the test. Internet signal is very strength.
ఓకే సార్.
Hello. Yeah, actually I'm in the remote area. That's why the signal is very poor. Is it audible? Yeah, Preeti, is it audible?
కొంచెం లైట్ గా అర్థమవుతుంది సార్.
లైట్ గా అర్థమవుతుందా?
అదే బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్ వాయిస్.
Actually, it is yeah. Signal strength is very poor. So because lack of signal, it is happening like that.
11th యూనిటా సార్ మీరు చెప్పేది?
Yeah, last chapter, last block. Seas.
ఓకే సార్.
Block 4 in seas. Lakes and seas. You can see the textbook. Mar. Yeah, I hope you to me, it may reach you. Okay. Yeah, erosion by sea. So these are the geological features as we saying the erosion by sea. As we know, what is erosion? Yes. Anyone can able to explain erosion? So the erosion is a process of a transportation of material which is on the above the earth surface is known as erosion. So the fine soil or loose sediments, the fine soil or loose sediments which are going to be transported from the earth surface by the geological agents such as rainwater, glaciers, wind, all these. So it may one of they are being as a geological agents or transporting agents. So we can by the help of these geological agents, the erosion takes place. So erosion by sea, the force, the forces that shape coasts are mostly erosion caused by sea waves, erosion caused by sea waves, transportation and deposition of the rock debris, and tectonic forces that cause uplift or subsidence of the coastal lands. So these are the major three ways which are going to be helpful or which are going to be takes the erosion process by the sea action. So erosion caused by the sea waves. As we know, the erosion caused by sea waves, when it has been the waves, as we know, the seawater which has been enter into the continental area. So when the oceanic water will enter into the continental area, when it's back to the ocean or sea, it has bring some of the particles into towards the sea line or sea area. This is due to waves. Because of the waves action or wavy motions, the erosion takes place on the adjacent area or continental area. So this is a erosion, we can call it as erosion caused by sea waves. And coming to second one, causes uplift, mostly the transportation and deposition of the rock debris. Transportation and deposition of the rock debris. As we know, the rock debris are mostly we can call it as the fractures or weathered products or weathered materials, mostly which are going to be transported and deposition of the transportation and deposition of the rock debris. So as we are seeing the transportation and deposition, whatever the weathered sediments or weathered fractured materials or weathered soil, all these the loose sediments which are going to be transportation, and then after it is going to be deposited in the low-lying areas, which are called as due to the transportation and erosion and tectonic forces that cause uplift or subsidence of the coastal lands. As we know, the tectonic forces due to the earth movements or tectonic movements. So as we know, the huge amount of energy can be released and the movement of earth or the tectonic movements has taken place on the earth surface so that the erosion can take place. As we know, most of the tectonic movements or earth movements are mostly occurred in the oceanic region. As we know, the oceanic are the low-lying areas which is almost the coastal region is very low. That's why they are going to be concentrate. That's why these are the very nearer to the mantle zones, or they are very near. Most of the Earth's crust area, it has been occupied by the oceanic basin, so that the crust area is thickness is very less, whereas in the regions of oceans. So that is why. So these, due to the subsidences or upliftments. So the earth movements, it may uplift the area or it may subsidence the area. So for example, where it has been pushing the forces in the oceanic or sea areas, so the land area, it has been uplift towards upward direction. So upliftment in the paiki netavard. So it has been mostly the area where the earth movements are takes place, or tectonic movements are takes place. So the oceanic region or the sea region, which is going to be uplift or moving towards upward direction. This is called upliftment. Then second one, coming to the second one, subsidence. Subsidence in the terms of sinking the land. So the land goes to the down. So due to the earth movements, what's happened? So the land has moved to one away, so move towards one another. So it has been a huge graben, or the weaker zone has been takes place. So along through this zone, the upper surface of the oceanic area or sea area, which is going to be lowering into the ground. So this is called subsidency. This is called subsidency. Sometimes we can even, when you are traveling on the roadsides, you might have seen on the road some pits. It has been the area, it has been subsidence or sinking into the ground. It has been lowered than the adjacent areas. Sometimes you even where the even your construction of houses, you can also see some area, some part which is going to be lowered inside. So this is called subsidence. How it is happens? Due to the earth movements or tectonic movements. So these tectonic movements leads the land to upward direction, that is called upliftment. When it has been moving towards a downward direction or towards lowered levels, that is called a subsidency. So this is three things which has been happened by the oceanic areas. And the major agents of erosion at the shoreline is sea waves. Apart from all these, the sea waves and the deposition, transportation, whereas upliftments and subsidence, most of the shoreline erosion is, you can say, by the sea action. So sea wavy action. So they cause erosion in four ways. Mostly the sea waves, they can cause erosion of four ways or four methods. The hydraulic impact, abrasion, attrition, and chemical action. So these are the four methods which the oceanic erosion has been taken place by wavy action or impact, attrition, and chemical action of water. So these four
సార్ మీది మ్యూట్ లో పడింది సార్.
Okay. So generally, the hydraulic impact, the impact force of waves has been breaking against a rocky cliff. Is it audible now? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So here generally the erosion of sea.
వింగ్సా విండా
No, seas, సముద్రాలు.
ఎన్నో పేజీలో చెప్తారా?
లాస్ట్ బ్లాక్ 4 లో ఉన్నది చూడండి.
ఓకే
బ్లాక్ 4 లో మనకు గ్లేషియర్స్, లేక్స్ లేదు.
ఓకే సార్.
కింద
ఓకే.
Right. So generally the sea erosion or wavy erosion as takes place mostly in the terms of three types. Mostly in the terms of three types. They are hydraulic impact, abrasion, attrition, chemical action of water. Chemical action of water. So here the sea waves, abrasion or erosion can take place in the terms of in these four ways. They are the hydraulic impact, abrasion, attrition, chemical action of water. Chemical action of water. Chemical action of water. All these things which has been very clearly happening in these hydraulic impacts, and mostly it has been by the hydraulic action. And coming to the abrasion, the sea waves becomes more destructive when they pick up rock fragments. So they are become more destructive when they pick up rock fragments like pebbles and sands and strike them against the cliffs. A great deal of erosion is done in this way. So the erosion, very good erosion takes place by the action of abrasion. So the abrasion is a terms because mostly they are destructive when they are pick up rock fragments. So in this process, the oceanic water, seawater, it is going to be pick up the rock fragments like pebbles and sands. As we know, the pebbles and sands and gravels, these are the various sizes which comes from the weathered products, and strike them against the cliffs. So it is very good deal for the erosion of the abrasion. Then third one, attrition. So the pebbles and sands moving to and fro along with the sea waves are further broken down to smaller sizes due to mutual collision. As we know, the attrition. So as the attrition, it has been rubbing one of the rock fragment surface to the another one. In this attrition process, the pebbles and sands, they are moving to and for along with the sea waves are further broken down to small sizes due to mutual collision. This is about the attrition. Then fourth one, chemical action of water. As we know, the weathering in this process also already you came to know that weathering is two types: physical weathering and chemical weathering. So chemical weathering, again, it has been further classified into chemical weathering is occurred by terms of four types: oxidation, carbonation, hydration, and all these activities which has been taken place. So in this chemical action of water, the physical destructiveness of the waves is enhanced greatly by the chemical action of seawater. So the physical destructiveness of the waves is enhanced greatly by the chemical action of seawater. The chemical decay extends and widens the cracks in the rocks and prepares them for the disintegration by waves. So the chemical action of seawater is particularly seen where coasts are composed of readily soluble rocks such as limestones and dolomites. So limestone and dolomite, these are two are the which are belongs to sedimentary rocks, which are belongs to sedimentary rocks. As we know, the chemical action. So as we know, the water is a very good chemical reaction agent. It is highly and most and chemical action which has been takes place in the various types of water. So as we know, these chemical action or the seawater, it has been highly dissolved by the different type of solvents in this water, so that the solvents can take place in various ways. So where it has been mostly chemically reacted the solutions around the adjacent areas. So due to the chemical reaction, whatever the limestone areas, dolomite areas, which are easily dissolved in the oceanic water or seawater, so that they become as a huge groundwater passages. So it is easily chemically dissolved solutions, because as we know, the water is a most reactive element, and it can easily to react with the rocks. So these chemical or oceanic water, seawater, which are going to be enter into the cracks of the adjacent rocks or pre-existing rocks. So when these rocks are entered, when these seawater is enter into the adjacent rocks, so it means the surrounded rocks. So when these water enter into the adjacent rocks, it is it is try to chemical evaluation. It means it is try to chemically weathered. It leads to destruction and decay of decomposition will takes place, so that it has been dissolved easily, and based on that it has going to be takes place a chemical erosion will takes place by the chemical action of water. So mostly it has been takes place the rocks which are easily dissolved in the seawater. It can take place in certain areas. So some rocks which are going to be against to the erosion, against to the chemical weathering, they may take much time to weathered process. Then coming to a shoreline erosional features, the shoreline erosional features. The shoreline is nothing but is a beach area where the what you can call it as a continental area and sea area which is going to meet together. They are going to meeting all these zones. We can call it as a shoreline. So shoreline erosional features. So what is the erosional features? We can able to see with the sea action. Yes, yeah. This is wave cut cliff. So this is one of the wave cut cliff is one of the erosional feature by sea. As we are seeing, the sea waves dash against the rocky shore and cut actively. The sea waves dash against the rocky shore and cut it actively due to continuous erosion. Due to continuous erosion at the base of the coastal land, a cliff is formed. This cliff is called wave cut cliff. So this is one of the very good erosional feature. This is one of the a very good erosional feature by sea. So generally what it happens is sea waves, which is going to be dash means collision to catastrophism. So it is going to be dashed against the rocky a shore and cut it actively. So due to the continuous erosion at the base of the coastal land, a cliff is formed. So this cliff is called a wave cut cliff because of the wavy action. These erosional features are going to form, so that we can call it as a wave cut cliff. Okay. Then wave cut bench. Wave cut bench. The sea waves undercut the cliffs and produce a notch at the base. Wave cut bench is the this is one of the another erosional feature. We can see the sea waves which are going to be undercut the cliffs and produce a notch at the base. This causes the overhanging rocks to fall into the water. In this way, the cliff gradually retreats towards land, leaving submerged rocky platform, which is called wave cut bench. Which is called wave cut bench. So the wave cut bench is a motion or which the waves which are going to undercut the cliffs and produce a notch in the base, which are called by the wave cut bench. And third one, sea arc or sea stack. Sea arc or sea stack. So headlands that extend into the sea are vigorously attacked by the waves. The wavy erode the rock destroying selectively thereby destroying the softer or more highly fractured rocks at the fastest rate. At first, cave-like features are produced at the base of the cliff, which are called sea caves. Caves means nothing but guhal antenga manam. Balloon caves or what you can say the Borra caves in Vishakhapatnam. Yes, Balloon caves, I think Karnool. All these are the caves, mostly which are developed in the chemical weathering in the limestone region or dolomite regions. Yes. So the sea caves which are going to form when two caves on opposite sides of a land and unite, a gateway like structures is formed. Such a structure is called sea arc. So arc like shape which are going to form by this erosional feature, we can call it as a sea arc, or we can also call it as sea stack. So when the arc falls, a pillar like structure of rocks is left standing in the sea. Such a remnant pillar of rock is called sea stack. Then transportation by sea. So now the seawater or oceanic water is going to be transport the material. So most of the waves approach a shoreline. Most of the waves approach a shoreline at an angle. So generally, the oceanic area and continental area, they are not uniform. So that the oceanic water or seawater waves which has approached a shoreline at some, it has maintained some angle. Consequently, the uprush of water from each breaking wave is oblique. However, the backflow is straight down the slope of the beach. The effect of this pattern of flow is straight down the slope of the beach. So generally, the effect of this pattern of a water movement is to transport particles of a sediments in a zigzag pattern in water movement is to transport particles of sediments a direction along the shore. This movement is called a beach drift. This movement is called as a beach drift. A direction along the shore. This movement is called a beach drift. The beach drift can transport sand and pebbles, thunders of meters each day. As you are seeing, the transportation of oceanic water, seawater, which has been by the wavy action, the transportation has takes place. When a wave strike shoreline at an angle of, mostly we can see the sand and other various activities you can see in the lakey regions. Then coming to the deposition by sea. Deposition by sea. So as we came to know that the seawater or sea is also placed for the deposition. So what type of deposition has takes place by the seawater? So where the beach drift and longshore currents are active, several deposition of features may develop along the shore. The principal depositional features are beach, wave-built terrace. So what is a beach? A beach is a flat mass of sand and gravel that is deposited on the seashores. Yes? A beach is the flat mass of sand and gravel that is deposited on the seashores. As we know, when most of the people would like to enter into, they would like to go to see the beaches. Yes. So why? Because it is such a wonderful location where we can see the oceanic area and the continental area both are meeting at these beaches. And this beach is a mass of sand and the gravels. As we know, the fellows who are visited the beaches, they are used to collect the sands. They used to collect the gravels. Why? Because in the beaches, we must have found there is a round shaped. We must found a round shaped or very smooth shaped stones we can collect from the beaches. We can get the beaches, such type of stones. Why? Why? Because so these are the zones. Beaches are the zones where we can get the a smooth or rounded shaped stones because they are traveled from the thousands of kilometers of travels which has been traveled and finally they are deposited on the beach so that on the beaches we can see the beach is an area of the flat and moss and sand and gravel that is deposited on seashores. The sediment of the beach is derived from erosion of adjacent cliffs from from alluvium contributed by rivers. And also alluvium is a very fine soil which is going to form in these beach areas due to the alluvials where it has been entered from the at a height of some height. So the water it has been finally entered into the seas. So these alluvials or deltas which are going to form in the beaches. Then coming to see a wave-built terrace. Wave-built terrace. So as we know, the seawater which is going to be built, terrace means some amount of deposit of sand, just like a basement, just like a what you can call it as the pavement areas. So these which has been the wave-built terraces under suitable conditions, a part of the sediment, a part of the under the suitable conditions, a part of the sediment is carried beyond the rock bench, and is deposited there. In this way, a platform-like features is formed, which is called wave-built terraces. So towards the shore, it merges with the beach. So we may find out some terraces along the beaches. So these terraces are mostly which are formed in the suitable condition mostly just been it's carried beyond the rock bench, carried beyond the rock bench and beyond the rock bench and is deposited there. In this way, a flat platform like feature which are going to form on the beaches, which are called a wave-like terraces or wave-built terraces. So this is also one of the erosional feature of sea. And we can see a spits where a straight shoreline takes a sharp turn in the longshore currents which are going to take place in the strip and sandbars and tombolo and sea and engineering activities, all these, and based on the depth zones of sea. This is very good, important for the even examination point of view also. Depth of sea or depth zones of sea. So based on the profile of the oceanic floor from coast up to the deep sea. So beach area నుంచి మనకు up to depth of the ocean or sea, the the seas been as which has been divided into 4 zones. They are littoral zone, continental shelf, continental slope, and deep sea zones. So from the sea, from the beaches, from the area of beaches of sea to a deep floor of the bottom or deep bottom of the sea, we can classify it based on the depth zones, based on the penetration of the life, the presence of life. We can also classify these depth zones of sea into 4 types. They are littoral zone, continental shelf, and the continental slope, and deep sea zones. So first one, a littoral zone. Littoral zone, it is a zone where the littoral zone is also called as shore zone, which is a beach comes under. This zone includes the area between the levels of the high tide and low tide. As we know, in the beach areas, most of the waves will come, tides, isn't it? The tides are coming, it means the form of wave water is coming to the from the oceanic water enter into the land and again it's go back to the ocean. So it is a beach. So that is why most of the people are playing in the beaches very nicely and enjoying the entertaining the water which is going to take place in collecting the various places. So this the between the high tide and the low tides. Tides means all mostly the oceanic water or samudrapu neer antam kada. So these oceanic water it has been entered into the land in the means of tides. So which are called the high tide and low tide zone, which are called as littoral zone. Then coming to second one, continental shelf. So this is a zone which has been a submerged platform that extends at a depth of up to 200 meters, we can call it as. From the beach up to 200 meters, we can call it as a continental shelf zone. Then third one, continental slope. So the continental slope, it has been up to a 200 to 900 meters of depth of seawater. We can call it as a continental slope. Then last one, deep sea zone, above 4,000 meters of depth of ocean sea. We can call it as a deep sea zone. So this is the depth of the sea. Based on the depth or what are the presence of plants and animals in the sea, we can classify it into four types. They are littoral zone, continental shelf, and continental slope, and abyssal zone or depth sea zones. So depends upon the zone. So littoral zone, which is the zone belongs to the high tide and low tide. Continental shelf, which is belongs to up to the depth of 200 meters. Continental slope, it is up to depth of 200 to 900 meters. And depth sea zone is above 4,000 meters. Above 4,000 meters depth zone of sea, we can call it as depth sea zones. So this is about the seas. Then coming to lakes. This is, I think, it is a last topic in our syllabus, even lakes. This is also one of the a low-lying area. In this low-lying area of lakes, like seas, but mostly when you compare to lakes and seas, seas are the a saline water. It has the saline water or marine water conditions. It means the sea water, it gives a saline taste. Why? Because the most of the water it has entered into seas, which are comes from the thousands of kilometers far. As we know, the river Godavari, it has been started Maharashtra, then enter into the Basra in Telangana. Then it is entered through, it has to flow through Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and lastly it is going to be entered into the Bay of Bengal. Yes, it means, do you know what is the distance from how much of distance of this river it has been traveled, and lastly it is going to be end into the Bay of Bengal? It is about 1,525 kilometers. Yes, you can imagine. So that river water, the Godavari river water, it has been traveled. It has been originated from the Maharashtra. It is our neighborhood state of Maharashtra. So from Maharashtra to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, then enter into Bay of Bengal, or Telugu we can say Bangalakatam antundanni. So it means there are several thousands of kilometers the river has traveled, and finally it has been submerged or entered into the Bay of Bengal. It means during the course of traveling, it has been chemically reacted with several types of soils, with several types of rocks, with several types of minerals. So which are going to be dissolved, which are going to be chemically decay and destruction and decomposition, all the things which are together carried in the river water. The river water means only nothing but water. It has carried, there are several particles which are present in the water. You might have seen in your surroundings when it's raining, when it's during the rains, you might have seen in your surroundings. So there are several types of soils which has been carried out and transported from the various places to your place, and your place area soil is transported to other places, isn't it? Because it's carrying the river water or oceanic water, the river water or rainwater, which has been carry the fragments along through the flow of water. So like the seawater, it gives saline taste because of this reason which has traveled. But whereas comes to lakes, so it is not much saline condition. Why? Because so the lake water, it has been gathered or it has been fulfilled by the surrounding regions or surrounding areas, which are very clearly seen all these regions. So in what way we can see the differences between the lakes and seas? We need to compare in very easily. But why? Because it has the lake water, it has been formed by the nearby the streams, and these nearby the streams doesn't have much constituents in this water. So in all these ways, we may conclude the patterns which are going to be take place mostly in the lake water. Just a minute, I will show the even images also. Yeah, due to this, can mostly it is going to form their glacial erosions and the groundwater movements, which is going to takes place, and the mass debris, and mostly the wind erosion features, which is going to be takes place. So types of lakes, mostly we can say, mostly the salty lakes and acidic lakes and playa lakes, which are the mostly important ones. So their types of lakes, once you see, there are basically three types, and mostly they are the salty lakes and acidic lakes and playa lakes, which are going to take place in this. In the most important lakes in India is, which are best example, Kolleru lakes. The Kolleru lakes is located in the Krishna district of Andhra Pradesh. It's a very good drinking water fresh water lake. So it is about 260 square kilometers. It has been widely spread of Kolluri Lake. And coming to Sambar Lake, so Sambar's Lake is a Jodhpur and the border of Jodhpur and Jaipur. It is about 360 meters from the ocean, and it has been spread throughout the almost what you can call it as a two. It is about the Sambar Lake. The Sambar Lake, it is located in the border of Jodhpur and Jaipur borders. It has been from the from the sea from the sea level. It's about 360 meters height, and it is distributed, and it is occupied around 230 square kilometers. It has been one of the dry and as well as the most which has been clay material which is present in this lake. And coming to Lonar Lake, it has takes place in the Deccan basalts or Deccan land of Maharashtra, Bultana district. Bultana district of Maharashtra is the space of Deccan. So it is about 1.5 kilometers. It has been about 90 meters depth. Mostly it has been during even the desert regions. It has been mostly the sodium carbonate, sodium chloride layers which are going to form in this one. And last lake is Null Lake. So Null Lake, it has been located in the Ahmedabad. It is a lake of. It has been the distribution is about 130 square kilometers. It is almost like South Gujarat and also middle of the all these places which has been located. These are the important lakes in India. They are the mostly four lakes: Kolleru Lake in Andhra Pradesh, Krishna district; Sambar Lake, Jodhpur and Jaipur; and Lonar Lake. It has been located in Maharashtra, Deccan, Bultana district; and Null Lake. It has been located in the Ahmedabad. So these are the about the lakes. This is a very small topic. Only you can see there are types of lakes and lakes. What are the lakes present in the lake? Important lakes in India is a very good essential for your exam point of view. This is about lakes and seas. Okay. Yeah, thank you, one and all. My class is over. I'm signing out.
సార్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమన్నా చెప్తారా సార్ లెసన్స్ వారి?
Yeah, I will write on paper and I will post in the group. Okay. Chapter wise question, the important questions, I will write it on the paper and I will post in the group. Everyone can able to see. Even some along with I can send also some material. Okay.
ఓకే.
Right. Thank you.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.